Today, I want to show you what my web design process looks like. My name is Christine from Portable Entrepreneur, and I'm going to be sharing with you this web design process that covers everything from the initial contact with a prospect all the way through to those post-launch recurring services that you help clients with, and absolutely everything that happens in between. Now, I want to be clear that this is not the process at all that I started with in my business, but this is what I developed over time through trial and error and testing when I got really sick of things like the problem clients and the misunderstandings and these projects being drawn way out just due to delays and scope creep. And at the end of the day, I was left feeling like I just was not making enough money to make this worth it. But this process, it ended all of that. So let me show this process to you and everything that is involved. Now, I do want to let you know that I have just released my entire web design workflow process that you can now access that, and it is completely done for you. You will find a discount link to that below. I'm also going to include a link below to the template that I'm going to be covering with you today, so that if you want to expand on your process, you want to build it out using this, that you can access that for free as well. So make sure to check those links down below, and let's have a look at this process. So as you can see here, we have this full web design workflow, and there are all of the phases here, and there's a lot of different moving pieces. So what I want to do is walk you through each of these phases, talk to you about what is included to help you identify perhaps any gaps that you have in your process, so you can start to fill that in, and that will help to end some of these issues that you may be having with clients or just in general in your agency. So as I mentioned, part of my process, I want to be able to get rid of any of the time wasters, the tire kickers, and I don't want to waste any time. So these steps are put in place for a very specific reason. My process helps me get rid of all this wasted time that can happen in projects with back and forth and waiting on things. So I want to start with prospect qualification. This is how I'm going to see who is serious and who is not, because I don't, again, want to waste any time on anybody who is not serious about working with me or really seeing the value in what it is that I do. So the first thing is, if I have a prospect come in through email, then I want to qualify them through email. I want to send them a handful of questions, and these are going to be around their business, why they're actually reaching out, what are their goals, what do they hope to achieve, what does their project look like in their mind. And if they don't answer, or they come back with very short answers, only a few words per question, let's say, then, well, they're not going to be very serious about this process, and it's going to be hard to work with them usually. So I usually just send those somewhere else. However, if they do qualify, they do pass, then I want to actually take the time to get on the phone with them. So I don't want to just jump on the phone with necessarily everybody, because that doesn't mean that all of them are going to actually pan out to be clients. So I want to start with that email qualification, but once we can move into the phone call, this is where we can really start to find out, yes, I do want to work with this person, or no, I don't, because now we have a chance to actually talk to them, and we're going to get a much better idea. So on this call, I also want to share with them my process so that they understand who I am, what I'm going to be able to help them do. So for instance, I'm going to let them know that I'm not just a generalist web designer. I'm not going to just throw up a pretty looking website. I really want to get to know your business very, very well. I want to understand the outcomes that you are looking for, so I can help see, am I actually going to be able to help you achieve that? So that is very, very different. We're going to be focused on conversions. So from that, if all looks good, I'm going to give the client their own homework. And that homework is some more questions, really helping them pinpoint the exact outcomes that they want. So that way we can get really specific about what they want to have happen from our service, from our work together, and then see, is that going to be realistic? Are we going to be able to achieve that for them? Are we going to be able to achieve that in the time frame that they want? So from there, then we're going to be moving on to selling website planning. Now, if you missed my video on how to get paid to plan websites, I will link to that below. Definitely go check that out. This is a crucial part of the process here. And this is what this entire second row here is about, all about website planning. You need to get paid for this part of the process, because you just simply cannot possibly spend enough time to really get to understand the business, what their goals are, and come up with a plan that's actually going to help you create an effective website. So if you don't know how to get results for clients, you are not going to know how to do it unless you are planning their website and going through this process. So let's look at that. So we start really all of these phases with getting prepared. As I mentioned, I don't want to waste any time. So why I get prepared is to make sure I have everything I need together before I begin any of these phases. So that way we don't start work and then, oh, we have to stop and we have to go back and wait for something else. And then, oh, we start again. Oh, wait, we got to stop. It's too much. So we need to make sure that we have everything we need. So with website planning, we're gathering some business information that we need. I'm also asking for access to different accounts. So this can be Google Analytics, Google Search Console, any other accounts that they may have that's going to give me data on the website or their customers to better understand what's going on, what's working, what's not. And then we're going to be going into a series of website planning calls. This is with me and with the client, with the business owner. So we actually spend anywhere from 2 hours, sometimes even up to a half day, just depends on the size of the business, the complexity of what they want to do. And we're going to cover these 3 areas here. First is business details and goals, understanding a lot about the business itself. And I'm not just trying to understand the business from the website perspective, but I need to understand the business as a whole. Otherwise, I don't know that what I'm building is going to fit into their system, into their business. And so everything works together. I want to get really, really specific on what their goals are. We're going to be looking at their homework, talking about that a bit more. So we are pinpointing exactly what it is that they want to do, and also looking at their analytics and some of their numbers, getting an idea of where they're at right now so we can see just how far we need to go to be able to reach that goal. Again, looking at the time frames, looking at how realistic that is. And then we're also going to be looking at website assets and content assets. So this is all about understanding the website they have, but understanding more so the website that they are going to have. If we are not careful about understanding their website, but really helping to plan out the new one, it's very easy to just kind of rehash the same website that they already have, just make it prettier. Or if they share with us a website that they like, we can recreate that, but we don't even know if that website is effective. So this is where we need to really understand the website, the content. And so when a client comes to us and says, oh, I just want a 5-page website, they don't know the questions to ask. They don't know everything that they need. So they're going to share their knowledge with you about their business. You have to bring your knowledge to the table so that you are asking them the right questions and making sure that you are pulling all of the information out. So when we fully rely on the client to tell us exactly what they need, that causes problems because they don't know. That's why they're not a web designer. So this is a lot of questions that really digs into everything. So we are perfectly clear on what it is that they need and want. Then I'm going to move in by myself to these next 2 phases, which is style planning and page planning and information architecture. Page planning is unbelievably important. This is where we're going to finalize exactly how many pages we actually need. And then we're going to actually plan each specific page. What is the goal for this page? What is the objective for this page? What elements is there going to be on this page? What copy is going to be on this page? And really making sure that we understand the purpose and how that page is helping us achieve the goal. So it's very, very important that we plan each of those pages because, again, we are building effective websites that produce a positive ROI. This is how we do that. From all of this, we are putting together really a roadmap, a blueprint. We are creating the strategy behind building the site and helping to achieve a specific outcome. Now we are going to deliver this website plan. I do so in a presentation format. So they have something to walk away with that's written, but they also have me walking them through it so they understand exactly what the plan is and why we've put this together. From there, I do have prepared a proposal and an invoice. That way, when they are ready for us to go ahead and implement that work on the end of that presentation call, I can just share with them the proposal in order to do that, let them see the invoice, they sign it, they pay, and we are moving straight on to actually building out this site now. So you will see here that the visual design is not the very next step here. We are actually looking at content. Content is crucial to the success of a website. So we are preparing the content order, whether this is you are going to be doing this in-house, maybe you yourself are doing this, maybe you have another team member, maybe you're outsourcing it. Figure out a way for you to handle it and not give it to the client. It delays everything, and it's just not going to be as high quality. It's not going to help convert the way it is if you're able to put it together or you have someone else put it together. If you're unsure about copy and all of that, I will link to some resources down below that can help you with this conversion focused copy as well. So here we are making sure that we have a final sitemap, which should have come from the website plan. We are taking a look at those content page plans, and really what we're doing is putting together a master content list. All the content that exists, does it need updated? Does it need deleted? Does it need any changes at all? What is the content that we don't have but we need now that we've identified through the plan? So we are getting this ordered. If there's any other media, whether it's photos, videos, let's say we need headshots of all the team members, then we are getting that ordered now before we go into the design phase. We don't want to be held up because of copy at the end. So we're getting all of this approved, and once we are set with what we need to have written, then we go ahead and we place an order. We begin to write however it is that your process is going to go, and then we'll get that content back. We will edit that if need be and go ahead and approve that there. So this takes us into visual design here. This is where we are taking wireframes. Again, this is coming from the website plan. This is not where we designed it, but we created a wireframe for that page, again, to put together the different elements, the plan for that particular page. And we are confirming the content, the style guide. So this is really the visual design preparation step. So this is, again, where we're making sure we have everything we need to design a website. We don't want the designer to start and then stop because they're missing something that they need, and now they're just kind of in this stuck place because they really need that one thing to do their job. So this is why we're going to have everyone prepared. So then they're going to move into actually creating the mock-ups based on the pages that we've given them, the sitemap, and the designer now has a full understanding of specifically what outcomes we are working to achieve. So when they go to create the mock-up, that is the number one thing in their mind, is how can I achieve this? Then we're going to have those mock-ups approved by the client, and when those are approved, we invoice the client for another amount. And then we are on to web development here. But before we do, we need to get prepared. You see, web designers and developers, they work differently. So what we do is we put together functional specifications and resources. So this is combining everything from the design work to pass along to the developer to make sure that they understand the designs and they are going to develop them as intended. So this is just giving us a better way to have the web designer and web developer communicate. Now, as I go through here, if you are a one-man or woman show and you're handling all of this, perfectly fine. But I still encourage you to create this process because one will keep you organized. It's going to keep you on track. It'll help you make sure that the process just runs smoother across the board. But in the event that you ever decide to bring on a web designer, to bring on a web developer, to bring on a copywriter, a virtual assistant, whoever, that you are now able to take this exact process and then hand it over to them, and they are now going to do it the same way that you would. So now we are going to go down to the development and quality assurance phase here. So we are getting the developer prepared with everything that he needs, all the account access. We make sure he has access to all the files, the images. All of the images are optimized and ready to go for him. And then we are going to just let him do his thing, her thing, and they are going to build a responsive website based on the mock-ups we've provided them. Now, I do have the developer go through some testing on their own just to make sure that everything is working as it should. But then we go into this full quality assurance step. unbelievably important, very lengthy, and at the same time, very tedious. So this is one that I like to have a trained virtual assistant go through because it gives us someone who hasn't really seen the website before and kind of test it. And so they are looking at desktop checks. They are looking at mobile website checks. They are looking at SEO checks, analytics checks, copy checks, image checks. There is a whole host of checklists that I have them go step by step through. This means that once the website is launched, we're not going to have all these surprise issues going on. We're not going to find later that something is missing. We're not going to realize that later the users weren't able to click a button or something happened to make the website not convert because it's not user friendly. So this is all caught in this full quality assurance step. So then the user, or then rather not the user, but the quality assurance specialist will send any of the issues back to the developer and then recheck those once the developer has updated them. So once the website is done, it is ready to go. We have that approved by the client that they are happy, it's ready to go live. And again, we invoice them and have them pay before they actually see the site live now. So now we go into launch. So we schedule the launch. I like to do early in the week and early in the morning. That way, if for any reason at all, there is some surprise issue that comes up, we are able to handle it during working hours. Otherwise, if we go live on a Friday afternoon, well, your weekend isn't going to be that much fun. So we don't want that to happen. So now we go ahead and launch the website. And while we do have a launch and post-launch phase, I do have some immediate post-launch steps in the launch phase because as soon as the website goes live, these are the things that we want to do. And it is split up between some checks on the website just to check some things that can happen when a website is transferred just to make sure everything went smooth. And then we are also looking at some admin tasks. Now that the site is completely finished, the project has wrapped up, there are some admin tasks that we want to go ahead and take care of. So then we move on to post-launch. So this is where we are now looking at what are the goals now, and this is where we are reviewing the website plan a bit. What were the goals that we wanted to accomplish? Do we have all the software set up to now track the website, to make sure that we're going to have the data that we need in order to make decisions moving forward to see if the website is actually effective or as effective as we want it to be. And then we're going to meet with the client for some post-launch calls. This may be one call, this could be a couple of calls. So this is where we're going to be making sure that they are happy with the work. We can be asking for testimonials. We can be training them on the website. There's a series of reasons why we actually need to meet with the client afterwards, just as kind of a wrap-up call. But this brings us into the final phase and my favorite phase, which is maintenance, management, and growth. And that should be pretty self-explanatory as to what we're trying to accomplish there, but we want the website to be maintained by us. We want to fully manage that website. And this is where the client really experiences the growth. So for us, this is a very, very important phase because this is where recurring revenue is going to happen for our business, which is going to be very important to the success of your business. At the same time, this phase is incredibly important for your clients as well, because this is how they're going to know if their website is effective. This is how they're going to continue to see opportunities to grow their business, to grow their website, to generate more leads and customers and sales. And that's what we can really do for them in the growth phase. So we start this off by looking at phase 2 opportunities. So as we come up with the website plan, this is where I do like to look at phase 1 and phase 2 items that we can handle. So for instance, anything that is crucial to the success of their business, to the outcome that we are working to achieve, that needs to go in phase work. But if there's anything that, let's say, just it would be a requirement, but it's not necessary, it doesn't help reach that outcome, or the client just wants it, we can push all of that into a phase 2 project. So let's start with what's most important. Let's get you that outcome. Let's get the ball rolling with that. And then later, afterwards, now we can start handling that phase 2 work.
So from there, we do want to maintain and manage the website. And then we go into growth. And that can look like a lot of different things. It just depends on the business that you're working with. This could be SEO for traffic and leads. This could be email marketing, Facebook ads. There's so many different services and ways that you can help the business grow. But how you determine that is based on the website plan that you came up with. So when you are back up here at the top of the process and you are going through this whole section here and you are diving into their account, you're looking at their analytics, and you're going through all of these questions, you are going to have so much better, you're going to have such a much better understanding of the business owner, of the outcomes that they want, the direction that they're heading. And that is going to help you see what has been working, what's not working for them, what have they tried, what haven't they tried. And that is going to help you determine how, after you get that website set up to convert, you now know some ways that you're going to be able to help them grow, so you can continue that with a recurring service once the website is up. So I hope this really helps you see how much is involved, or really should be involved, in your workflow. So this is something that you can make sure that you start filling in the gaps within your own process. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to pick up a completely done for you process with all of my step by step processes and checklists within each and every one of these steps, you can do that at portableentrepreneur.com/workflow, or grab the link below, and there is a discount there available for you too. If you would like a copy of this web design workflow, there is also a link below for that too. You can download this. That way you can play around, you can adjust this for your own workflow and start filling in the gaps as need be. If you have any questions at all about web design workflow, the process, then don't hesitate to drop a comment down below, and I'd be happy to help answer your questions. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.